Hello, my name is Isaiah Valdez, and this is my presentation on the impact of nursing informatics, particularly in staff shortages and burnouts. Now, to start off with, one of the first questions we should answer is what is nursing informatics? Nursing informatics is a specialty that integrates nursing science with multiple information and analytical sciences to identify, define, manage, and communicate data, information, knowledge, and wisdom in nursing practice. Many aspects of informatics and its applications work towards efficient and practical care. It is aimed at developing evidence-based practice. In a in short form, nursing informatics is a field that integrates computer science, nursing, and information science, and attempts to make things more efficient based on data, and establishes most of the standards of evidence-based practice that we know. In using nursing informatics, uh, we describe a problem that occurs in current in the current world. Typically, after the COVID-19 pandemic, there's been a shortage of nurses, but this shortage of nurses happened before the pandemic. The pandemic just amplified that shortage of nurses. This can be seen in the recent in the recent difference between the amount of new nurses that passed NCLEX in 2020 as opposed to the amount of nurses that passed NCLEX in 2000. Particularly that this shortage isn't really a shortage, more has to do with a maldistribution of nurses. And while this problem can't be solved practically by, let's say, hiring more nurses all the time, a nursing informatics solutions can aid in alleviating this problem. One of the solutions that we could use to solve this problem is AI. AI will allow us to streamline our clinical decision making and help to avoid bias in certain contexts. What is AI? Well, AI is a man made set of programs that is designed to optimize tasks by delivering fast judgments based on a set of preset conditions. One of the drawbacks, however, is that AI is ethically questionable in its data handling, and although it can technically avoid bias, it will never fully avoid bias because the person who made the AI will still have bias. All in all, though, AI can reduce the workload of a nurse by allowing for more prompt action, which can help the nurse have more time to take care of their patient's needs as well as their own needs. Another solution would be EHR optimization. EHR is a staple research used by healthcare professionals all the time in order to adjust care plans as well as document the health history and conditions that the patient has had. By optimizing EHR, the nurse will have more information available to them to make decisions more promptly, as well as be able to document information in a more efficient manner by avoiding excessive information that could that can put a stall to their decision making, particularly if EHR optimization also went along with AI, it could lead to a more streamlined approach that with less delays to care and more time to address needs. Who is involved for this project? Well, patients, as they're affected by the volume of nurses and the quality of care received. Particularly, patients are involved in this with the stake that they could suffer serious health problems due to insufficient care. Nurses are involved because due to conditions, they can find situations hard to manage, which can lead to burnout, which is what we're trying to prevent. Directly, they are directly involved in patient care and as such are at the foremost of any health problems that may need to be reported. They serve as the avenue to tell us when the patients have problems to begin with, so it's very important that they're there. IT staff. They manage the electronic software used by the facility and thus by nursing staff, and thus are directly involved in this project. Managers are responsible for assigning shifts to nurses as well as other staff, and as such, they're involved in this project as well, as they could affect the amount of nurses on duty. All right, expected outcomes. This project aims to improve the quality of patient care by increasing the amount of time that nurses have to address needs without overlapping within the time frame of the needs of their other patients. In a short form, we want to have we want nurses to have more time to help their patients, especially if their ratios are typically more or less unmanageable. Typically more along the lines of nurses with ratios of 6 patients to 1 nurse. By using AI for clinical decision making, there's more leeway for nurses to get orders and respond in such a manner as to avoid overlap. They can uh, they can get their orders more on point and on time, and as such, have more time to deal with uh, the patient's needs that go beyond simple healthcare. Optimizing EHR would also help with decision making, as well as shorten the amount of shorten the amount of information that the nurse may need to input, and as such free up even more time for them to address their needs as well as the patient's. The technology to be used in this project includes EHR systems that can aid in the collection of data and support nurses in managing the healthcare of clients efficiently. EHR is a pretty staple resource. It's present in most facilities, and as such always aids in decision making as well as uh, the transfer of information between facilities. AI can aid by providing advanced decision making on the criteria that it is given. It has to be preset. This can allow for more preemptive action before conditions become worse for the patient, or in this case, preemptive action in the case that they can get the care they need as well, which will free up time for the nurse to help them with their other needs. Another technology that this project needs is analytics. Analytics are programs that collect data, and by providing this data, can determine which processes are working and which aren't, which can help in deciding what is working and what is not, and what to implement at the end. All right, for roles in the team, we have the nurse informaticist. They collect data and interpret the data to make evidence-based decisions on how to achieve best practice in the context that they are given. Works with all the members of the team to find a practical solution to each of their concerns with the project by adjusting the conditions present in the system. They'll be adjusting things based on the data as well as the concerns of team members. They are pretty core to the whole entire team. The IT specialist ensures the system is operational and that all members of the team can use the systems. Helps ensure data collection by fine-tuning programs. They're more into the coding aspect of this project than the nurse informaticist. They might help in fine-tuning what the nurse informaticist cannot. Nurse managers can manage the nursing staff in response to suggestions made by other staff as well as system recommendations. I don't expect nurse managers to always have the necessary staff that they need, but they can help to manage the staff for the staff if there's a shortage on a particular day. Nurses, they can voice their concerns about staffing as well as other concerns related to their well-being as this project moves forward. They're also, as noted previously, responsible for patient care and can help to get feedback from patients on the on the necessities of these systems. All right, for the theoretical framework behind this project, following Parsi's theory of human becoming, it's important to realize that the nurse informaticist serves up the nurses and patients, transcend their current situation. They're all working together to come to a meaningful conclusion where they can become the best person in the context of their situation. As noted in human becoming is moving on with intended hopes and dreams as pushing, resisting, co-creates new ways of viewing the familiar and unfamiliar. In this sense, this project follows the process of becoming as it intends to work towards a situation where patients and nurses can return to a familiar context. That context being that everyone can get the care that they need, both the nurses and the patients, as well as nurse informaticists. The nurses can get alleviation from the burnout that they're feeling. The patients can get the care that they need. In conclusion, nursing informatics is always attempting to improve the field of healthcare by increasing efficiency and quality of care. Many technologies such as EHR and AI are being implemented to meet the demands of care and as such are being standardized into care. Informatics continues to be a beneficial field to nursing and as such is expected to grow alongside as the two fields implement and grow on each other. By improving EHR and incorporating AI into clinical decision-making, there is hope that healthcare can become more efficient and thereby help to provide relief to overstrained nurses. While shortages may continue, the hope is that this technology can aid in making a quality standard of care despite a currently inadequate staff, depending on the context. All right, that was my presentation. Thanks.